What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns climbing upon Mount Soapbox beneath Mount Chiliad for yet another rant. And why am I up here in Paleto Bay, you ask? Well, the Lowriders update, which came out just a few days ago for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, gave me inspiration, specifically around a building in Strawberry that was converted in the update to now be the premier location over the past few days in Grand Theft Auto Online, Benny's. Now, before the update, this is what Benny's looked like. It was an abandoned building. It was just one of many buildings in the game, but Rockstar North went in, creating the Lowriders DLC. Who knows how long they've been spending time working on this, and they converted this building of buildings into such a hot spot where gamers can take their rides, well, 6 rides to be exact, and have them turn into lowriders with hydraulics, sweet new interiors, etc. Now people know exactly where this place is. Now, obviously, when I recorded the video for this, probably a few people knew, but after Tuesday's update, everybody knows where Benny's is now in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, tying back into today's rant, one thing I've had issue with is the fact that, in my opinion, of all the towns in southern San Andreas in Grand Theft Auto Online, Paleto Bay is, without question, my favorite. It's beautiful. It's all the way up to the north. I like to hang out here, drive around with me and my friends when we're just goofing off, especially when you're in a public lobby, because most peeps are down in Los Santos killing each other. And it just annoys me that despite the fact that Sandy Shores and even Grapeseed both have airports or airfields or landing strips, you don't have that up in Paleto Bay, which is technically bigger than both of those towns. Paleto Bay does not have an airport. It does not have an airfield. It doesn't even have a landing strip. If you want to land or take off a plane in Paleto Bay, you have to do it on the freaking beach. So that's my first issue with Paleto Bay. My other issue is revolved around property. Now, the only other place on the map where you can get 10-car garages and or high-end apartments that also come with 10-car garages is down in Los Santos. Now, obviously, there is property that you can purchase in Paleto Bay that has 2 and even 6-car garages, but I really wish that there was at least a couple 10-car garages up in Paleto Bay as well. And maybe even 1 or 2 high-end apartments, maybe built on this construction site that I took some Snapmatic photos of while waltzing around Paleto Bay, along with Shadow all the way over in Australia, one of my viewers, subscribers, and fans. I just feel like this construction site that's empty is a waste in the game, and I think Rockstar should go in and remod Paleto Bay, and at the very least add a high-end apartment or maybe a twin high-end apartments about the same size as Tinsel Towers, obviously, so it works better with the town of Paleto Bay. Obviously, you can't have these high-end apartments as tall as Eclipse Towers or Weasel Tower. I think the Tinsel Tower would probably be just about right for Paleto Bay. Tall, but not too tall. Now, I realize the problem that's going to come up. Well, GeauxBurns, Paleto Bay is used in story mode during a heist mission, so this may have an effect on that heist mission. And what are they going to do about that? Because the present day events of Grand Theft Auto 5 take place months after the events in Grand Theft Auto Online story. In other words, they'd have to remod Paleto Bay, not just for Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, but also for Grand Theft Auto 5 Story. It's not just some warehouse in the middle of Strawberry that in story mode is inconsequential. This is an entire town we're dealing with, because if you go into Paleto Bay and you change the construction site into 1 or 2 high-end apartments that are not too tall, but at the same time are obviously newer looking than the rest of the town for high-end living and 10-car garages, it's going to dramatically change the look and the feel of Paleto Bay in both Grand Theft Auto Online as well as Grand Theft Auto 5 Story. And that's where the big change is going to happen, because I believe that there's a certain aspect of the heist mission up in Paleto Bay which kind of depends on that construction site. I think that's where Franklin goes to get the bulldozer, if I'm not mistaken. So they would have to tweak that mission to where Franklin doesn't have to go to the construction site in order to grab the bulldozer. But that can be easily accomplished because whenever you switch to Franklin, he already has the bulldozer, so he could have just found it anywhere. But the big question is, would Rockstar actually go through the trouble of adding things to Paleto Bay to make it more lively in Grand Theft Auto Online, meaning that more people would spend time up in Paleto Bay because not only is there a garage up there, an ammunition, a clothing store, but there also is high-end apartments with 10-car garages, meaning that you may see more people hanging out up in Paleto Bay killing each other and not just all the way down in LS. Now, obviously, I seriously doubt they're going to go through the trouble of making an airstrip, even if it looks similar to the airstrip over in Grapeseed, even if it's just a paved version. I don't really see that happening either, even though I would really like to have a paved landing strip with a hangar so that you could have your plane spawn there as well as helicopters. That would be awesome too. But even if Rockstar doesn't do anything to dramatically change Paleto Bay with either a landing strip or high-end apartments in the construction area, what I would like to see is something similar to what they did with Benny's. You take one of these random buildings in Paleto Bay that could feasibly serve as a 10-car garage and convert it into a 10-car garage, even if it's one of these 6-car garages. Another thing I would like to see to add more property up in Paleto Bay, house-wise, is making some of the beach houses along the ocean purchasable as well, with 2 or 6-car garages up in Paleto Bay and down in Chumash. If there's something about Grand Theft Auto Online and Grand Theft Auto 5 that would not mind Rockstar retconning, it would be Paleto Bay. Its look, add an airstrip, add a hangar for planes and helicopters to be spawned over there by Pegasus, and high-end apartments with 10-car garages, as well as beach houses. It would be another current-gen game changer in Grand Theft Auto Online, especially since Rockstar stated that they're now focused primarily on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, giving it meaningful content update. So you can imagine with what they did with Lowriders, converting an abandoned warehouse in Strawberry into this awesome mod shop called Benny's. Just imagine what they could do with some of the other buildings throughout Los Santos, and imagine what they could do up here in Paleto Bay. In conclusion, most of us, quote-unquote, live in Los Santos, but wouldn't it be awesome if we also had the option of, quote-unquote, living up in Paleto Bay? I just think it's one of the future updates that Rockstar should consider making, because at the moment, in this present tense in time, in this version of Grand Theft Auto Online, Paleto Bay just feels like it's not living up to its full potential.